Fellas, it's your boy, Caustic's, back at it again with another character redesign video, or more accurately, just redesigning the same fucking character in different AUs. Let me cut straight to the point, because the footage is rolling and I'm gonna get ahead of myself. This is for another apocalypse story, with crackheads running around as infections. It's the Trickster AU, again, but I honestly don't really know the difference. But yeah, this is for Jealousy Growing Darkness by username Puffs. I'll be honest, I'm only doing this one because it was like the next one besides CSA Assassin or CSA Mysteries, which, I don't know, maybe I'll do those later, but I wanted to do this because yeah. Anyways, this was a bit of a tough read, namely for, the new prologue, which to the audience watching this who are like, what the fuck is going on? In this series, I pretty much redesigned the same OC but for different AUs because I used to submit her to so many stories. She was my persona and it felt like I was the one getting written into these cool scenarios. The problem is though, I was shit at character design. I never even made a character design. So yeah, I thought I'd make different designs, test my abilities with designing the same person, just in slightly different scenarios. So this one, yeah, like I said, crackheads running around, infection, apocalypse. This takes place 3 years after the apocalypse. That was something I wanted to keep a note of. There were several things I wanted to keep a note of, some of which I actually fucked up. You'll see that for each of these characters, they have a hoodie because it was written that she had stolen Rudy, a person's hoodie, at the time. That was all I read. All I read was that she stole Rudy's hoodie. Reading back though, it was a green hoodie, so I didn't even fill the requirements. I didn't even do that. So I already fucked up. Other things though, she has a golden bow, so one thing that I really wanted to do was give her gold eyes, or just some sort of gold aspect to match it when she has it out. There's magic in the story, so I guess that also sets it apart from the Trickster AU, although that also had magic. Except, when like 11-year-olds are writing it, there's no real purpose to it, it's just because magic is cool, so it's not well thought out or developed, and I guess Duster could just summon a gold bow, I suppose. So, yeah. I'll read the description in the new prologue since that's the closest I have to a physical description of her. Duster also had brown hair because like 3 other girls also had brown hair. Sorry. Star says, and then we have Duster, one of our many females. Like, seriously. Duster also had brown hair, and instead of stealing Star's clothes, it seems she had stolen one of Rudy's green hoodies and wore some jogging pants. So that's what I had to go off of. Brown hair, hoodie, because I didn't read the green part, because I can't read, and jogging pants. So she sort of came out looking like my bunk SMP character, which was a whole other debacle thing that happened that was fun, but then fell apart real quick. I ended up settling on sort of the last design that I made. I went into this not really knowing what I was going to do. I just picked apart the story, I read it, found some interesting things. For example, she is apparently just a fucking cold-hearted bitch? Like, oh my god. She was getting attacked by a trickster. Not a trickster. See what I mean? She was getting attacked by a Achaean virus. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be pronounced alien. We'll just say infected soul stealers. That's what they are. Soul stealers. She was getting attacked. And then she gets saved by her good old buddy, you guessed it, Cray, jumps in, saving her, and then the Soul Stealer goes to attack out of fear because it's getting surrounded. And what does she do when Cray has jumped in front of her and is defending her and it's attacking? She fucking pushes him. She pushes him in front of her. And the fucking Soul Stealer Justice shoved Cray in front of her, which resulted in a hand shooting through Cray's chest. Blood poured out of his wound. His eyes rolled back into his head. Star gasped, realizing what had happened, and he shot an icy cold glare out of Duster. Bro, don't be afraid. Do more than that. Fucking grab her by the collar. Say, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? There was no need. He was already in front of her. Like, why? That is such a cold-hearted thing to do. What? And she claims later that she didn't mean to do. That is such a deliberate action. My guy. What the fuck? And then she just sort of The transformations though, bro. There's something. Cray began to shake. His body surrounded in a dark storm cloud. He screamed out in pain, tears rolling down his cheeks. Finally, he began to change. His once silk yellow hair turned into a dark, messy blonde mess. His narwhal hat ripped apart, and 2 large horns grew on top of his head. His outfit changed. He wore a cloak and a causal button-up white top and blue jeans. Cray? Duster managed to speak out in a quiet tone. Cray only stared at her. After what seemed like hours, he answered. My name isn't Cray anymore, Dolly. It's Blindside. And if you were smart, you and your traitorous ass would start running. What? How polite! How polite of him to say, you should probably start running. I will, in fact, kill you. Like, he's gotta still remember that they're besties, that they're gal pals for life. Well, were, until she fucking did the most stupid thing ever. And so yeah, the start through the whole story is just mean to her, and this in the new prologue explains it, that she's just a bitch. She's just a bitch. And then the prologue goes into other scenes, which I'm not gonna touch up on, because it just hurts me. It feels like hell. And you guys can let your minds wander for as far as you can. Maybe you'll even find it. I sure as hell ain't explaining it or giving my verbal thoughts on it, because all I will say is it hurt. And not in a, oh my god, the story is so well written. I'm crying. I'm crying tears. My favorite character died. No, just, owie, owie. Ouch and owie. Anyways, yeah, all that being said, I think I did okay. You know, I like her shirt. She's a cutie despite her being the worst ever. She is a very... I wrote down some general notes. I was just writing down her traits as I was reading it. So, 3 years since the apocalypse, she's optimistic, she's upbeat, she acts before thinking, like she goes in to save someone before even thinking about the actual dangers that were present. And you know, at that point I was like, oh yeah, so she's like a nice, she cares about her friends, blah blah blah. When she gets slapped by Star, she fucking yaps. She's like, you motherfucker, and she pulls out a bow, she's gonna fucking kill him. So she acts in self-defense and just Undertale, question mark. And then yeah, I find out as I read through to the end that she is slightly, you know, not, you know, I'll give the writer Puffs, I'll give her credit for that. She is not your perfect happy-go-lucky nice girl protagonist. She does some fucked up things. So, you know, gotta hand that to her. So yeah, now that I went back through the timeline, I have no idea what point in the video I am supposed to be in line with, so I will just leave you fellas to that. you know, hope to do this again. I think she came out pretty cute looking. Just again, evil. Evil motherfucker.
When you look into my eyes, you see a mirage of something trustworthy. I'm not your enemy, no more anxiety. Though you're